Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. Today, we're doing a draft walkthrough made possible by Tcgplayer.
We're going to take you through an entire real-life draft and talk about the picks.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. Now, we got together with 6 of our friends, and we drafted, and we're going to follow one of us through the whole draft. But this is only possible because Tcgplayer went ahead and was awesome and sent us a whole box of Commander Legends.
And it's because you guys use the link. They know you're using the link. They see that it's coming in, so they gave us a box so we could do more advertising because they want you to keep using that link. And remember, it's not like we're just use that. It also helps us a ton. The channel has been upgraded a lot because of that link.
Yes, so we are going to have to decide whose draft to follow, I think.
Yeah, we have to choose our character.
Choose your character.
All right, and we're in. Beezy's going for the open, and I was sitting directly next to him, and I know this pack is not going to be open soon, sir.
It certainly takes a long time for me to open this pack and potentially other packs in the future, but I'm proud with the group's choice to go with me as the best drafter from among us. I, of course, will represent us in this Commander Legends draft. Probably cover this. You know what this almost reminds me of? Covering a Pro Tour draft. You know, like Marshall and LSV used to do.
Yeah, what's gonna be really, really interesting about this here is I was sitting next to Beezy, and there is definitely a mixture of signals that definitely happens in this draft. So we're gonna see
what happens if something goes wrong. So we're looking at definitely pull that to the front. Commander Sphere, totally versatile card, but I'm like, ooh, Court of Cunning, Malcolm, Rock Guy.
Now, yeah. So we got some legends here. Picking your legends in the first pack isn't necessarily bad or good. If they make your deck, that's awesome. You can go into colors quick here. The packs often support people sitting directly next to each other in the same colors, and that's what's intended here, is so nobody gets screwed out of colors.
Yeah, if you wanted to stay totally open, you'd probably take Commander Sphere, Pilgrim's Eye, but I saw Court of Cunning as a really good enchantment rare that can just win you the game. If you stay the Monarch like 3 turns in a row, you're just done. And last time we played, how important was evasion?
Oh, it was super important. But I think what I would have gone, I think for this pick, if I was in your seat, I go with the Commander Sphere and the Court of Cunning. I really value Ramp in this set a lot. But Beezy goes with the Malcolm and the Court of Cunning, which puts him in solid blue. He wants to be past blue, which that might be one of the reasons that some of the symbols get a little mixed up.
It might be. I mean, I'm looking to be blue. And I see Marble Diamond right away, so I'm like, okay, that's good. I see a counterspell. There is also the ugly elf killer lady. I don't know what her name is. The elf assassin.
Yeah, that was my thought. When I passed that, I thought that was one of the cards I was shuffling around in my first pick. I'm passing 2 Beezy in this pack, so I actually thought Beezy's going to take that, probably push him toward black.
I mean, but I look at the green commander, and that card's no slouch either. So I could stay all blue and take the counterspell with Cascade and the Marble Diamond, or I could like dip into green. And I figure since my first pick was just one color, I can afford to like dip into a second color. So I went with the Sky Diamond. I think I said Marble Diamond. Sky Diamond and that green commander.
I think I like these picks. I think those are the picks I would have gone with in this seat too. The only other card that is just randomly to keep an eye on is that 2/1 flyer is actually just decent.
Sad but true.
It's so much better than you think it is. It ends up pushing through a ton of damage more than you expect.
Comes out on turn 2.
Yeah, it comes down to
power.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I mean, there's not a lot of flying. You really have to realize that about this set is there's just not a lot of flying. All right, and we're into the next pack. What do we got here?
So Murder stands out as good removal. Cast Down also good. There's Alharu, the really good +1/+1 counter tokens kind of creature. But also the Ivy Lane Denizen is super strong. And I don't take it here, but it was in the game I played, and it's crazy. It was crazy good.
I'm kind of surprised you don't go with it here, because what we saw is we saw green in the last pack, a good sign that maybe green was open. So maybe the Ivy League Denizen was something to go with. What did you take here? What are your picks? We're gonna get to them.
So I'm looking at Cast Down and Murder. I'm like, well, I could take Cast Down and Murder if black is open because you passed me the 4/3 that ETBs and kills something. So I was looking at that for a minute. Alharu was really good, and I wanted to see if, I'll get my commanders ready now, and I have 3 potential things. Now I just don't have to worry about commanders because I got 3 really good ones right away. So maybe I'll take that card and see where that takes me. There was like so many choices.
And your final 2 with the Ivy Lane and those 2 at the front right now?
I think so, but I know this pack took a little bit, and I was really thinking about it. Because 5-mana sorcery removal, also a thing. I could take 2 white cards from this pack.
Okay. Yeah, the sorcery removal also better than we gave it credit for originally.
Oh, I thought it was horrible.
Yeah.
So many of my ratings have changed, but not enough to make that set review useless.
I really do think, obviously not, but I really do think enchantment interaction is super good if you can get it. They just sit down too much. They sit on the field and just like, there was in this draft, there was a intangible virtue just sat on the field for so long, and it just ran away with the game because of that.
I was waffling a ton, and I know most of the reason I had this pack for so long is because I was waiting for the next pack to come to me. But I ended up going with Marble Diamond and Alharu. I'm like, okay, get my foot in the door for white. Those are both really good premium white cards. So like, I'm looking to be like blue-white at this point. And then I'm like, I'll see if I see any green. And right now, I see basically no green at all. Now, having gone back in time, I think I should have been red in the seat.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think you got pushed into something pushed you into the wrong card. I think the
pack 2, I can explain why when that happens.
Yeah, I think your pack 1. I think you.
But right now I see Aqueous Form, and I'm like, okay, Aqueous Form's pretty good. It's evasion. It gets the Monarchy. There's no removal in this set. It's all 1-for-1s. And as soon as Aqueous Form gets you the Monarchy, it replaces itself.
Yeah, Aqueous Form's nice. It's just super solid. You put it on a big guy on the ground, it's great. Especially in those green. You get in that green-blue deck. Oh, super solid. You just get to punch through like an 8/8. If you can, another card just worth mentioning here before we take this pick is that 8/8 that with Cascade, that card's great.
Oh, it was really good. Yeah, so I ended up going with the 3/2 artifact guy, and I think there was like a blue card in there. I literally just didn't see.
It wasn't that important of a pick.
No, not really. That was a disappointing pack. But then I'm like, okay, here's a bunch of really good cards. Runaway Together, solid tempo, and that pirate that dies into a card and has Encore for 7. That's actual card draw.
Yeah, that card's been solid for me. I actually messed up with it yesterday. I forgot it was in my graveyard. I just left it sitting there. But the card, I haven't played Runaway Together, and I passed it here. I think also one of the reasons Beezy Feels Blue is opened here is I was taking a lot of fixing and colorless stuff to make my things that are going to make my deck no matter what. Instead of forcing myself into colors, I was trying to read my seat a little more, and I think because I tried to read my seat so
much, me all the blue.
I didn't even pass you that much blue. We're still only seeing C's here.
I mean, I just took 2 pretty good blue cards. What was the next best card in that pack? There wasn't really much.
Yeah, that was
like Prophetic Prism.
Yeah, that pack was getting low on stuff.
Next pack, Gale Strike. I still feel like, while we were wrong about some things, I still feel like Gale Strike is so medium it hurts. Mm-hmm. And this pack doesn't have a ton in it. I'm definitely taking the Staunch Throne Guard because anything that gives me the Monarch, and it's already kind of late, where I'm not expecting any bombs anymore. So that I'm just gonna take this card. It's 100% gonna make my deck. The way I drafted, I don't need to worry about Prismatic Piper. I have 3 potential commanders already, although green's not very open. So I'll just take I might play the Deranged Assistant. So I figured, all right, I'll take that and I'll take the Throne Guard. Perilous Mirror also I was considering, but I went with the Deranged Assistant, which did not end up making my deck.
Yeah, green ended up getting cut in his seat because the person next to me was in green, and
so 2 people to my right was green, and then person on my left ended up also being green.
But also I was specking in green. That was a couple of my first, 2 of my first 6 picks were in green, so I was still hedging on green until it got cut for me completely.
I thought you were only taking fixing.
I was taking fixing and a couple green cards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of fixing. I had like 7 lands for fixing. It was
You
great.
did. I'd say we both. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, so we'll get to what actually happened in the draft, I guess, at the end as a extended tidbit.
Yeah, exactly.
But the way we did it was we played 2 4-player pods, and then both of the winners got to sign a Baby Yoda piece of plastic piggy bank,
which you will see at the end of this video.
Yeah, we got to keep track of the winners, but we didn't want. Well, we tried the way we said before. We tried 2 pods playing into a winner's pod and a loser's pod. That was miserable. First and second place out of 4 people means that now everyone's playing for second place. It was awful. It was just, I think none of the 8 of us had any fun, including the winners.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
And it took hours, just hours. So we definitely refined it with this one. I'm glad we have this instead. Yep. So I take the assistant and the throne guard.
Yep. Which we already said the throne guard he took because he knew that was going to make his deck no matter what.
Right. Now we're getting into like semi-poopy cards. I don't want any of these really. If I'm going to be white, I could potentially take some of those. But they're like, Rebecca doesn't do anything in this set. I think she's awful. No. There's no artifacts. There's some weird fringe artifact deck that I'm not looking to play.
Yeah, it doesn't exist here. There's not really too many good cards. Beezy looking at Prying Eyes. You know he's desperate.
Yeah, that's how desperate I am. I'm like, well, okay. I was down on card draw. Last time I flooded a lot, and I would have loved to have a Prying Eyes, turn 60 of that game. So I ended up taking, I think, the 2 blue cards because there's just nothing for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't think either of them make my deck. I ended up with a lot of playables.
Yeah, which is surprising because I'm in the seat next to him, and those blue cards, I'm in that color.
I can't say anything about it being incorrect. It seemed like blue was open for both of us, and it just ended up weird that we were both next to each other. So I take Wild Size and Prying Eyes. I'm like, all right, I have a green card. You never know. We'll take Wild Size because the other one is so much worse. And now I'm like, okay, pretty late. Prosperous Pirates. I'll totally play that card. And the Benevolent Blessing. Yeah, it's another white card. I have white cards. Yeah. Maybe we'll just lean into that. Every other card in this pack is awful. I think like legitimately not good. At least Furnace Celebration, complete whiff for me.
Yeah, it's good in the deck. It's good in. It's just that's not this deck.
Yeah, and then now I'm like, all right, pretty good removal spell and Sailor of Means. So that's ramp and removal, like basically as late as I could ever get them. And then I have no choice but to take Sack Outlet and Fencing Ace. So reviewing, we first picked Malcolm and the Court. I got 2 diamonds, assuming I'm in blue-white, which is what I'm looking to lean at this point. Aqueous Form's going to probably make my deck, even though I don't think it did. Those blue cards, total filler, and then I'm like, all right, I have a couple greens. Kind of have a little pirate shenanigans going on. I got a lot of pirates. So the Malcolm, like, at this point, I'm like, okay, I saw enough blue. I'm going to be blue. It's not difficult enough to, like, I could blindly force blue from here without reading signals or anything and still end up with a fine deck. I think the 2 picks per pack is so good.
Yeah, it helps a lot. It really lets you make sure that you're in the... Oh! What's next pack?
Oh, it certainly isn't going to be opened right away. Let me tell you what, I had a lot of trouble with these packs.
I don't know why you had trouble. These packs are pretty easy to open.
The third one was. I'll say that. I'll spoil the third pack. It was easy to open.
Grab it by the sides and then pull the tab.
I think I did that. I even have nails and it wasn't working.
Why are you doing it? Who does that?
I don't know.
You don't go for that spot.
What else do you go for?
You pull from both sides.
Oh, you mean like the okay, anyway. As I learn how to open a pack.
All right, so he's going right to the rares probably.
No, I just took out the token.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, Visionary. Command Tower, that caught my eye. Commander Sphere also caught my eye. Pilgrim's Eye is an eye. This is the point where if I wanted to go in red, I could have. Dargo is super good, and blue-red has like a treasure thing going on.
I certainly wish you had gone to red.
But this pack had a lot of stuff in it. The Salamander that ETBs and destroys something was also sweet. And I knew that I really wanted to take Salamander because it's premium removal, repeatable in my colors. And then I'm looking like, okay, there's 2 premium fixers. How could I not take one of them? And so like the Dargo just kind of got passed.
Okay, so that's why the Dargo got passed. You went with the fixing.
I mean, I don't know. What would you do? I ended up taking Command Tower and the Amphin. What would you do?
You take Command Tower?
Yeah.
I had Command Sphere in my deck? I definitely took that Command Sphere. You're passing it to me.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So, yeah, I think I would have gone with the Command Sphere, but I'm not sure. It's close.
Instead of the tower or in addition to the tower?
Instead of the tower. I would have taken the Amphin for sure.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, okay, it's time to be blue-white because past premium blue-white bomb and Confiscate is insane. I wish I would have drawn Confiscate. That would have potentially won me the entire game.
Yeah, Confiscate, completely awesome.
Assuming I didn't win already. I'll never tell.
And completely great. So Confiscate is premium removal and Kangi is premium.
Kangi is insane. That card, if it survives for 2 turns, you could maybe just kill somebody. It's Vigilance. Attacks for 5.
Yeah. Looking at that pack, I know it's coming to me. I'm almost positive I took that Vigilance guy. It's okay. It was an 8/8 for me. When it enters, it gets a counter for each other creature.
Oh, yeah. It looks like the definition of filler. And I put my cards upside down.
Oh, no. Failure.
Rookie mistake.
Oh, coming in next pack. I thought we were going to have to take a little break there, but hey.
Another Deranged Assistant. Really don't want to take that. that spider, the 4/4 spider, has been good. I've seen it be good, which is crazy. So now I'm seeing, all right, that 2/4 pirate that taps down, that card is insane. Like, that is a mythic uncommon bomb. There's so many pirates in blue that you're not going to have trouble. I'm already in blue. I have a pirate commander, so I'm like, okay, windmill slam that. So I have to think about what my other pick is, and it's between Sunset Pyramid and Terramorphic Expanse. So what would you do?
I would go with Terramorphic Expanse. I've been valuing the fixing very highly to make sure I never come close to getting screwed in any way. I want to minimize mulligans as much as humanly possible, even though you get a free one. If you hit 6, I feel like it's such a huge disadvantage for you. So I took as much fixing as I possibly could.
Yeah, you take this Terramorphic Expanse when I pass it, because I take Sunset Pyramid because mana sinks and card draw was so lacking in my last game that I played. Then I'm like, all right, I'm going to secure, like, I was down on Sunset Pyramid, but it's just good. I just need to take it. I need to shut up and settle and take it. And also, I see a bunch of good cards in this pack.
Yeah, we got a Thirst for Knowledge, which is totally good card draw. The
Livio,
that's his name.
He exiles creatures, and then you can flicker. I'm like, all right. Now, if I paired Livio with Malcolm, that's a 2-drop and a 3-drop. So I'm on board every game, no matter what.
Yeah, but he is passing the 2 cards that he has in front there are the ones he's passing to me, and those are the ones I'm going to take. I can tell you that much.
You mean that counterspell?
That counterspell and the flyer, who reduces the cost of flyers.
Right. That was, I'm like, it's kind of a bummer. I want all of these, but I need to secure a better commander. And all right, Thirst for Knowledge is amazing. I have artifacts in my deck.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ramirez de Pietro, the 3/1 flyer pirate that gives other pirates flying, and then Wrong Turn, which is also premium removal. Target opponent. I do the little. I'm like, oh, premium, because it just gives an opponent another commander.
Yeah, you just get to give away anything you want, pretty much. What do you take out of this pack?
So I'm snapping off the Wrong Turn, and then I'm gonna take. Now that I have my first 2/4 pirate, I'm like, okay, pirates get huge boosts, not only for Malcolm, but for this 2/4. So I was a little bit underwhelmed by the 3/1 flyer. But I still took it anyway, and it's fine. It has Encore. The Encore really saves it, because 3/1 is so weak.
Yeah, 3/1 is pretty weak.
And you see there are red cards I could be taking here, like Welding Sparks. So if I ended up in the Dargo Malcolm deck, I would get another Welding Sparks.
Yeah, that's probably the way that I think that if...
But it's so difficult being past Kangi. Like, I think it was totally reasonable to just snap off the Kangi.
I think picking the Kangi might have been right, but I think maybe you could have moved towards red. But hey...
I just don't.
Draft is hard.
It's tough. I don't see a point where I could have moved off of it.
Maybe if you had taken some red in pack 1.
Yeah, there was only like a Welding Sparks though. Maybe it was just that the red happened to be bad in pack 1, so that I didn't want to move into it.
Well, we also talked about how we thought red was solidly the worst color.
Yeah, the red looks really shallow.
Yeah, we did. I got to see red be really good. That pirate that we thought would be insane was insane. The
03?
The 03, yeah, that card was it was insane. It did so much.
It did not this draft, but the last draft we played it, I encored it did 30 damage.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, seems good.
Yeah,
just a sorcery that fireballs your opponents.
Yeah, just a totally bonkers card. Yeah, so the Wrong Turn's coming out here, and then he's taking the flyer. I was also underwhelmed. I had one of those flyers in my deck. Very underwhelmed with it too.
No, it got picked off by a -1/-1. You know what? Actually, the stupid assassin we made fun of, the 2/2, the ETBs, killed it. I'm like, come on, that card.
I've been more. I think Encore is more powerful than originally we gave it credit for. I think anything with Encore is playable.
Yeah, I haven't seen an Encore card be bad. That might be the quote unquote worst one. But I also didn't really have a board presence. If you do have a board presence, it can lethal somebody.
Well, that's not the worst one. That one is when it attacks and does -1. That's
no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about this one. This one's one of the worst ones because you need a board presence. But once you have one, you can just KO people. It gives other things flying. But I did pass Ramirez. I have no synergy with that. So outside of a 3-mana 2/3 with evasion, I don't care.
All right.
We see Jared. I'm nowhere near that. But also Return to Dust, which is premium. Armillary Sphere is decent. It's kind of just filler, right?
Yeah,
but it makes you hit your line drops.
Armillary Sphere is a card I avoid if I can. But it's obviously like I need it, so I take it. But yeah, I avoid it at all costs. The fixing's very good in the set, and if you prioritize it highly, you'll be fine. But also, if you're sitting next to someone who's named Joe who prioritizes it really highly, it's tough to get.
Yeah, you snap most of it off. I didn't see much fixing. It didn't end up mattering though. Like if you get diamonds and stuff on your colors, you might not need it. We've been drafting differently accidentally, where I kind of just go for a color that I see and I take the best cards, and then he takes mono fixing, and then our decks both end up really good.
Yeah, I stayed super. In my very first draft, we've done 2 of these now. I stayed super open, and I didn't get punished for it. I mean, I had like basically 2 or 3 cards in 4 different colors, and it didn't matter because once I picked my colors in pack 2, I was fine.
Yeah, I almost take the sphere, and then I'm like, no, if I end up blue white flyers, I want the gift. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like,
whoa.
Okay, second Kangi with 8 cards left in the pack. Blue white is at least wide open from this direction. So I'm like, all right, slam second Kangi. I don't even know if I'm going to play it as my commander at this point, but it's definitely an option. And then in terms of other cards, Pack Beast is okay. I know I have Artifacts, and Rupture Spire I don't really want to play in 2-color deck.
Yeah, I don't like Pack Beast at all. I really don't want to play that card almost ever.
But like, what would you take? Would you take the Brine?
Yeah, the Brine. I think the Brine's. I think that
Brine Lin.
In this draft format, having big drops just isn't bad. It just doesn't matter. Like, sure, that cost 8. It just doesn't matter that much because almost you're gonna get to play your 8 drops. You're not gonna not get to play those. Obviously, you can't overload your deck. You can't have them all come in early. Like you can't have like 10 because obviously if you draw like 4, you're screwed. But having big drops is important, so I don't mind taking that because you want a few bomby things. You want those big splashy things that can make impacts on the board.
Okay. Next pack coming in hot. I'm like, okay, Filigree Familiar, sweet. I'm playing Artifacts, and here's where I pay some respect to Evasion Matters, and I take this frumpy looking 2/2 flyer for 5 that bounces a creature. And the sad part is that it was good.
Was it good?
It was actually totally fine. I bounced a 6-drop with it.
You passed me that Dispeller's Capsule, I'm sure here.
Yeah, I know. I passed you the capsule because I want to snap off Familiar. Because I respect the life gain and card draw on Familiar, which is on nothing. There's no life gain. There's no card draw. It's so hard to get. So I'm like, all right, snap that off, and then I'll take the flyer for Evasion and Kangi.
Exactly. Yeah, we're running down low on cards. Ooh, we got the 6/9 in the pack. Nice.
I can't remember if I passed that to you.
You 100%, 110% passed that to me.
Yeah, I take the Artifact Evasion thing and the equipment that could potentially go on a flyer. I'm like, okay.
Prismatic
Piper, that isn't going to ever make my deck. But
it's very clear this table is not playing red-black sack, as we've seen 2 makeshift munitions go last pick.
Right, so I get a Confiscate, I get the 2/4 Pirate, Thirst for Knowledge, 2 Kangis in a pack, and I'm like, okay, easy blue-white. How could I not? And then I try to open this 3rd pack, and I nail it right away.
You're a god. What did you open? Let's see. We're going to the rares. Oh, there's that.
No, we're going with the token. We're going with the token.
There's the flying guy.
Malfeld Twins, Cartographer's good, Diamond useless.
Yeah, not no colors.
Mutation, I don't really care about. And then I'm like, oh baby, a second 2/4 Pirate. If 1 is good, 2 is insane.
Yes, that card's very good. Wait, what does you didn't consider that 3 3/5 flyer? I think that thing I
did look at it. I was considering the Cartographer as ramp because obviously you need ramp, and I think that's what I take. The 3/5 flyer was up there. But I figure, all right, let's just ramp, and I have this pirate. I'm thinking my deck's going to be pretty sweet. I'm going to prioritize pirates super highly now.
Yeah, he's locked in. He's in that blue. He's in blue white. He's not going anywhere from there. That's a Baron Sengir that.
Right. Spoiler alert: Joe's also in blue white, so I'm not going to see a ton of playables this pack.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is blue white. I got blue white towards the end of the last pack, and Beezy was because it was very open going to the left. So I was seeing a lot of it, even though I was passing a bunch of it. And then Beezy just got shoved into it because it was super open going to the right.
Yeah, I got past a few bombs. So I'm looking, and I'm like, it's too late for black, even though black, weirdly, maybe something I could have ended up with if I had a weird preference towards it. That kobold that I passed is going to end up giving me trouble in the actual game. So I can't think of what that card is called. Insidious Will? In something will?
Supreme
Will. Oh my god. Supreme Will is great. It's a counterspell when they tap out, which they're going to, and it's card draw / selection. I was also paying some respect to that court denizen that you saw and finally are coming around. That was very good. But I take the big vanilla flyer.
I think it was it's good in the tokens deck and probably not good in many other places. But yeah, in the tokens deck, I think it's really good.
All right, I see another Sunset Pyramid. There's a 3/4 zombie rare, but I can't use it at all. That's kind of in the Ramirez deck. And Cage of Hands, another vanilla flyer, another denizen. It's not a pirate though. There's no pirates in this pack. I already took 1 Sunset Pyramid, so I'm leaning towards the second one, and then just kind of saying, okay, my card draw is in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, Beezy's. So again, we're not putting any blame. Or it's tough to. It's like it's the way that the cards played out. But Beezy's deck probably would have been better in blue red. He would have gotten a lot this pack for blue red.
In this particular spot, I get to take the probably Sunset Pyramid and Vargas Wrath, who's okay in the 99. Definitely not a commander.
Yeah, that guy's only good. That guy's only good in the mill deck, which you're not in that deck.
No,
so you're
blue
not,
black. It's a blue black gold card.
Yeah, it's a blue black gold card essentially. So we're not looking at that one.
I don't need Prying Eyes, and I don't need another vanilla 6-mana 4/4 flyer. So I'm like, okay, this looks like a begrudging Sunset Pyramid and Cage of Hands, which I ended up playing.
This poor third pack getting quite shafted.
But it's okay because I got some pirate synergies. So well now I'm like, okay, sweet. 2 immediate playables right up front. Marble Diamond and the 3/3 flyer. And there's Doom Traveler. Nothing really else. Mindless Automaton. I don't know if that card's good.
I don't think it's good.
It was good in a game when our opponent got completely flooded, but he ended up winning. He ended up losing that game anyway the past week when we played. I don't think it's very good.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good either. So the Angel has overperformed for me so far.
Yeah, that seems like easy Marble Diamond plus Angel.
Yeah.
I'd be very shocked if I took anything else because I think they both made my deck.
Yeah. How was the Angel for you? Did you draw it?
Nope, didn't draw it.
Okay.
I drew Marble Diamond. Marble Diamond was great.
Oh, yeah. We know Marble Diamond's great. Everyone knows that already.
That's my first play of the game.
All right.
And on to the next pack.
Yep. So where are you looking here? Let's see.
Couple standouts. There's Pajama Man, which I don't think is good at all, but it is a pirate that does have like a poor man's evasion. And then Sailor means I'm pretty much locked into taking Sailor. It's a good blocker if you're trying to protect stuff like the Monarchy, which I can get. There's also the Kinsvale Courier, but that's not really synergizing with what I'm doing.
Yeah, see, I think my pick would be the Kinsvale Courier because I think that card's just strong.
Yeah, to me it just seems like easy pirates. I want to take over the game with those 2 4s. I want to tap everything and then just smash with Malcolm. Plus, Evasive Pirate plus Malcolm makes his ability kind of cost 1 less.
That's fair.
To hit, and then I get the draw discard, which apparently is super critical when you don't want to draw 85,000 lands.
Yeah, I mean, we've come to the conclusion that any sort of
like we're kind of thinking Rummaging Goblin might be playable.
Yes, I think it is just playable.
Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad for me. I get Prophetic Prism. I'm definitely taking Runaway Together as the second copy of that. That card ended up being really good. I played it twice. I drafted 2 and I played 2. It bounced like probably 20 CMC worth of things. The 4 bounces combined.
That's awesome. I was low value in that card, so maybe I should look at it higher.
Yeah, it was great for me. It was one of the better pieces of interaction in my deck. Interpret the Signs is super slow. I ended up taking Interpret. Almost wish I took Prophetic Prism because I did not end up needing Interpret the Signs.
That's fair.
The Sunset Pyramids kind of replaced those 2 clunky, the Prying Eyes and the Interpret the Signs, and I'm glad that they did because they were better.
Yeah, you would have had you would have also, if you were in red, you would have like that throwing card or the stone card, which is okay removal too. So here, yeah, Cartographer's great. I mean, blue-white was super open going this way, and that's clear here because I'm taking all the good blue-white cards in my seat.
And there's still 5.
Yeah, there's still good blue-white cards in this seat.
Because I guess next to you is, on your right, is green-black elves, and on his right is red-black. And on his right is white-black. So blue is just coming all the way around.
Yeah, it's coming through. It's flowing through the seat really hard.
Yeah, I want to take... I'm looking, and I'm like, Glacian's pretty powerful. I don't have a ton of 6s, so that could be my late-game stuff. So I take Glacian and the ramp, kind of making up for the one I didn't take Commander Sphere earlier. And winding down, there's that Rummaging Goblin that I might have played in red-black or in blue-red. But I'm like, okay, Planning's a cantrip, and so is this Scholar. But I don't end up playing either of these cards.
Yeah, your deck came together well enough that you didn't have to.
No, I was cutting. I cut Interpret the Signs. It's better than those guys, sadly.
We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. These are the last 2 picks, I believe.
Yep, so I'm like, okay, I might play Mutation. Who knows? And then I take for the Vault Progress, I take Tuya Bearclaw.
I think Bearclaw, if you get in the red-green deck, that card's powerful.
There was 2 in this draft. All right, second Piper, so I could go off the rails and play red-black.
Okay, so that's the draft. Nice thumb. That's off the screen.
It was a fist. I was fist bumping somebody. And then there's the baby Yoda that
This is the baby Yoda. I'm coming in. Don't worry.
He'll save the framing.
Yeah, we're gonna fix this framing. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah.
You barely fix it at all.
No, I put him right in the camera. Look at that. Look at that baby Yoda.
Grabbing each ear. The winners got to sign, and then
They actually signed on those ears.
Yes, we'll wind down the draft and go back to big.
All right, we're big now. So.
All right, we're big now.
All right, so the draft was fun.
Draft was amazing. The draft is the most fun part of this, and the gameplay is super fun.
Yeah. We both ended up in blue-white. I was sitting directly next to Beezy. I was in the exact same deck as him.
Who are your commanders?
My commanders ended up being Radiant and the 1/3.
Yeah, and I went with Livio and Malcolm. So I was like 2-drop, 3-drop.
There's an unfortunate side effect of the good commanders happened to come from pack 2. So they didn't flow through my seat because if the packs are open in a different order, the draft is so much different. Because I'm probably so like, let's just say that like things kind of play out sort of like that. Like let's just switch like one pack where one of those Kangis is going the other way, and like you would never get to see it no matter who opened it.
Yep.
It's just like wow, but like one Kangi would have improved my deck by a lot. But we ended up in the same colors, and both the decks were incredibly playable. I think I might have been a little short on creatures. I think that's something I might. It's good to just have chump blockers out at all times.
Yeah, I don't really. Honestly, I wasn't short on anything. I thought the deck came together great. I had no issue with it. Was missing maybe 1 or 2 like more power cards, but I had the Salamander. I had Malcolm was really good. I had stuff to do the court, which I didn't draw.
All right, yeah. So let's do our
results.
And we'll do
results.
No, we'll do a tidbit we'll do that at the very end.
So the results are after this.
Yes, after this we'll talk about how the drafts went. So special shout outs to all of our patrons. We love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. You guys are awesome. We're getting close to that 100. We're actually I want to say something we're going to try and do. I'm not promising anything. We're going to try and reach out and see if we can get some Magic celebrities or just bigger names in the Magic community to play on our game show, and that's going to be our goal, to just get them to play and have fun with it, because it would be awesome.
Right, it would obviously be a virtual thing, so I'm not really sure how it would work. Maybe it's easier to do the first episode live and then go to a virtual thing. We'll have to figure out the kinks, so no promises, but we are working on it because we know we're coming up on 100 patrons.
Yeah, I think we're at 91.
And you know what the next best thing is, or maybe even the best thing is, that Tcgplayer gave us a box for free because they're awesome.
Yep. Tcgplayer link in the description below. They sent us the box. They made this video possible, and it's super exciting. If you want to see more of anything even like this, let us know, because this is different. We love drafting. We draft every Tuesday, and we're going to be doing Commander Legends, hopefully even after Strixhaven, I hope.
Well, because Commander is our favorite format. Limited is our second favorite format. So this is just a godsend because the format ended up being amazing. Every game I've played so far, which is 3 of them, they've all gone very long, which is totally fine, and they've all started out everyone at 40, and then everyone's life slowly has gone down evenly until everyone's at 12 or less, and it's a free for all. You're like, there's huge crazy turns, there's deals, there's alliances, there's bluffing. Someone in our pod bluffed having a removal spell, and he got to live longer because of it.
I mean, that works well. So yeah, we can go to what actually happened in our games.
You go first.
My games went really long, and there ended up being basically player to my right ended Ken.
Yeah, we know their names.
Yeah, Ken ended up with a super insane board state, and we came to the conclusion that Tim Rude had become the arch enemy, so he had to like go all out to try and kill him while he was at low life, and then he got into like desperation mode where he's like, I'm super desperate. I'm going to cast the Wheel of Misfortune, which I think is, don't play that card. It is such a Hail Mary. It just gives too many resources to your opponent.
Ken was in Hail Mary mode.
And it is a Hail Mary card. So he was going for the Hail Mary, ended up not getting him what he needed. He needed the board wipe. He had it in his deck. He
also took 8 damage when he was at 10.
Yeah, he bid 8. Yeah, that was too much. Only the top bid takes damage.
So Tim drew 7 cards and basically buried you guys.
Yeah, Tim drew 7 cards, and Bidney draws, and Bidney, who was also at the table, drew 7 cards, but didn't hit very well. He had like 5 lands after that, and that's just what happened. And then after that, we got buried by Intangible Virtue and the Long Island Medium.
Yeah, the Long Island Medium. So my games, it was John on Abzan. He had Kolfanor the Last U. That card is pretty sweet. He basically drew like 7 cards off of that game. Dan was on the most aggressive red-white deck I've ever seen with the 0-mana Kobold and the 1/1 Horse that says whenever a commander attacks, put a counter on it. So as soon as the game started, I'm like, I already feel like I'm being attacked. It's a 0-drop and a 2-drop, and then the 0-drop guaranteed attacks on turn 2, no matter what. And then I was on Malcolm and Livio, and Eric to my right was on the 1/2 Black Elf and the 4/4 Familiar that makes your commanders indestructible. Mm-hmm. So it looks like he didn't really get a green elf card. Maybe he would have if I hadn't taken it, pick something. It would have gone all the way around. But that game, I actually got screwed a little bit. I missed 2 land drops. I missed my 4th land drop and I missed my 6th land drop. So I was like hanging behind, totally in last place for the whole game. Dan ran away early because his commanders were 6/6s all of a sudden on turn 5. And then John and Eric ended up removing things. Things got huge. Eric's board state had like 50 power on it, and the one card that helped me not die was the 2/4 pirate. It iced down 7 creatures.
Dang.
And did not die the whole entire game until the very end when everyone's at, we're at 8, 8, 12, and 12. And then John goes, all right, let's see what happens. Kill your guy. It dies. And then everything goes to heck. John makes a huge swing for a bunch, and I was about to take 8 lethal with one of those 7/4s that I couldn't block that had a counter on it, and I pulled the sneakiest little, okay, well, I'm going to run away together, bounce it so I don't die, and then bounce one of Eric's creatures so he takes more trample damage. So Eric and Dan end up dying to this 1/3 that says whenever a token leaves, you lose 1 and John gained 1. So then it's down to me and John, but I'm at 1, and I see he has a, what's it called? An encore card in his grave. I'm like, uh-oh, I need to answer it. Spoiler alert, I got a few extra draws out of it, and I played as tight as I possibly could in the last turn, but I didn't find the answer and ended up dying. So John won. Kudos to John and Tim for winning. I did get a distinct second place, though.
A card I wanted to just that absolutely was one of the biggest reasons the game went to heck for me. That Salamander guy's insane.
Oh, Gore Muldrak.
He just keeps making Salamanders for everybody, and they can't come at you. The removal is very light in this set, except for board wipes, which you'll see a lot of because there is one for one removal, but everyone has 60-card decks. They might have 2 or 3 of those. They're not going to draw it super often. So those things stick around. And if he's in your command zone, I would throw him. Oh, God. He's so good. If I could throw him in my command zone, you just play him on turn 3. You don't even have to play a lot of creatures in your deck because you just need to rely on getting 4/3s. You can play a lot more spells, a lot more bouncing, a lot more protecting yourself from maybe...
Counter magic.
Yeah, counter magic. I think the card is super strong, and we slept on it.
We underrated it.
We underrated it. I think it's easily, like talking about it now, it's easily like an A-. That card is really insane.
It's warped every game it's in so far.
Yeah, I've played against it twice now in 2 drafts. It has absolutely warped the game. It changes everything going on at the table. Players are trying to stay at the lowest amount of creatures so they can get a free Salamander.
They're attacking the player in the lead who doesn't have the Salamander guy
out.
Yeah,
I think the Salamanders, essentially, I had, I'm not joking, 10 Salamanders attack me.
They cut your life in half.
Yeah, they really did.
For 1 card, 3-mana investment 1 time.
Yeah, and I had to continually make deals to give away the Monarchy because I didn't want to get attacked by 50 Salamanders every turn.
Yeah, and I would say don't sleep on that 2/4 pirate that taps down creatures. That card is ridiculous. Yeah, it's each pirate.
B+?
I don't know. It was better than a board wipe. It kept me alive because when I had 7 creatures iced down, 3 of them were Eric's and 4 of them were John's or vice versa. Mm-hmm. And now Dan's going to be able... He's like, okay, I can kill somebody. Oh, but I can't kill Beezy because if I do, it frees up these other creatures. And the same was true for them. So it kept me alive for probably 7 turns just by itself.
All right, and that's the tidbit about our life, and that's everything.
Yeah, that was a tidbit about our entire night.
Our entire night. Yeah, that night was fun. And we're doing it again next week. Tell us if you want us to do another recording or not.
Yeah, after this comes up, we'll do a poll and be like, hey, was that awesome or was that not awesome? And then, obviously this video is going to need to get some views for us to say, hey, they want to see more.
Yeah, and in the future, I think in the next months coming, and in a month coming, we might start a Kickstarter for actual gameplay.
Yeah, we got to get some equipment, get the stuff together. We need to get a place, got to get some aesthetics.
Yeah, that's in the months coming. That's completely separate from this, but I just wanted to mention it because I know a lot of people have been asking about gameplay, and believe me, we want to do it.
Yeah, so shout outs to Tim, Bidley, Ken, Joe, me, John, Eric, and Dan for playing with us. And shout outs to Tcgplayer for the free box.
Thanks again, Tcgplayer. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.